Many important things happened in 1918. World War I came to an end and a brave new world was born. But also the Maynooth mission to China came to birth in 1918. Maynooth was the great Irish seminary, and it was there that this missionary impulse came to light that saw the birth of the mission to China. Not that Christianity was unknown to China. Christianity had been in China since the 5th or 6th century. But in fact, this was a new impulse in a new era, born in Maynooth. Very quickly, the society became known as the Columbans, named after St. Columban, and therefore the mission was tapping into a much older story of Irish Christianity, that great missionary thrust about the 5th or 6th century, where the Irish missionaries crossed the water into Europe and really re-evangelised Europe in the most extraordinary way. And one of the most striking figures in that great surge was St. Columban himself. So the name St. Columban tied the mission to a long and deep story of Christian mission to Europe, but also to the world. The Columban Missionary Society spread very quickly because of the Irish diaspora. And one of the places to which it spread most quickly was Australia, where there was a very powerful Irish diaspora. So that in 1921, a house was established in Melbourne. But in 1920, there was founded the magazine of the society called The Far East. And it's really the 100 years of the Far East that we are celebrating this year. And I am delighted on behalf of the Australian bishops, and as one who personally owes a great debt of gratitude to the Columbans, I'm delighted to congratulate everybody who's been part of the extraordinary journey of the Far East through these 100 years. So much has changed since 1920. The world has changed dramatically. We all thought that the Great War that finished in 1918 would be the war to end all wars. In fact, it was not. It let loose the dogs of war in a way that led to World War II and so many wars since then. So the world has changed dramatically, but so too has the church in all kinds of ways, including the understanding of mission. That the mission to the pagans was the language that was used in 1920. Another kind of language is used now. So the church and her understanding of mission to China or wherever, because the Columbans went not only to China, they went far and wide. But our understanding of mission has changed. And in that sense, the Columbans have changed too. But the Columbans have changed in other ways. I remember when I was living with the Columbans in Rome in the early 1980s, the big decision that had to be made is whether the Columbans would take local vocations in the countries where they were serving, places like the Philippines and Latin America and wherever. And the answer eventually was yes, but it wasn't an easy answer for the society to come to. So the society has changed, just as the church has changed, just as the world has changed. And all of that is reflected in the 100 years of the Far East. The Far East has always been a source of information. It's always been a source of missionary education. And it's also been a very important source of fundraising for the Columban Missionary Society. That where once too the society included just priests and nuns, there were the Columban nuns, of course, and still are, but now there's a very large lay network throughout the world that is part of the Columban Missionary Society. So all of that reflected in this very simple but always interesting magazine, The Far East, that has become so well known and so widely read in a country like Australia, but right around the world, the Far East is known through the mission appeals and so on. So it's become a very significant contributor to our understanding of mission in a changing world and a changing church. My years with the Columbans were an education for me. I didn't have to read the Far East, I just had to live with them for 4 years in Rome. And in comments I made on a recently deceased Columban, a very memorable priest, Father Noel Connolly, I said in the little message I wrote that I found the Columbans with whom I lived down to earth, good-humoured, no nonsense, compassionate and cosmopolitan. And that, I said, was the Columban style. I think that's true, but I think you could apply each of those words also in a different way to the magazine The Far East through its 100 years. So to all who have been part of the story of the Far East, and to all who are part of it now, and to all who have been supporters of the Far East, readers of it, through all of those years, I say thank you very much for a contribution not only to the Columban Missionary Society, but a contribution also to the whole church, and in the end, a contribution to the world. Thank you.